really all the way over there.
We could see.
Okay. Hello, I'm Felicia Don Harper of Xavier Treat. I am CEO of Xavier Treats. And I wanted to come back on and do Learning Disability Part 2. This morning when I got up, I thought about some things in reference to being an advocate for your kids because I spoke about, you should be your child's biggest advocate. But being an advocate, you need to be armed with information. And so I would say if you are embarking on a journey and they said that your child needs to be evaluated and you don't know what all that entails or you don't understand it, or even if you are the person that's recommending it, I believe at that point you need to start becoming knowledgeable about the journey you and your child are going to embark on. And I would say the first advocate for you that you should seek out is your child's teacher. Put out any misnomers or feelings that you have that, or maybe this teacher doesn't like my child, or my child doesn't like this teacher. That is your greatest asset because the teacher has firsthand knowledge about what's happening in your class with your child in the classroom setting. So I would go to the teacher and say, listen, I know that we are embarking on this IEP journey, but what would you recommend? Because they may can point you to, if they don't have the knowledge that's needed, they can point you in a direction. And you just may need to be pointed in a direction and then you can take off from there. So say you've been given your child comes home stating that you have to come in and meet the team, and then they decide or your teacher says that your child been recommended for an IEP evaluation. I would go to the teacher and ask what brought you to these findings and what can I do from this point on. So the teacher may say maybe you should go speak to the social worker or maybe the school psychologist. Um, or I would put my pride aside because sometimes we as parents, if our child has been diagnosed or they say that something is possibly wrong with our kid, we get defensive like that's my child. And so sometimes we gotta lay our pride aside for the betterment of our child. So if the teacher does not have the information, go to the social worker in the school. The social worker should have information that can point you in the direction that you need to go. If it is supports outside the school, what I like about Flint Community Schools is that they are community schools. So they have GISD, no, I'm sorry, not GISD. They have what makes up a community school is that they have community ed, that's after school program. They also have a full-time nurse in the school. And in some school districts, you have a full-time nurse and you're like, oh, what's the big deal? But prior to, I don't want to misquote, but I think prior to the water crisis, there may not have been a nurse in every building. So there is now. So that is a wonderful thing to have. But where we come from, there was always a nurse in the school. So that's not foreign to us. But in some places, there may not be a nurse in every building. Some schools may have to share a nurse. So that is a resource for you. Your your family engagement person that's in the school, your family facilitator, that is another resource for you. We had Miss D in the building, and she was Genesee Health Plan, GHP, and those are resources. But whatever resources that are in your building, make make good use of them to help you on your journey with your child and this IEP journey, because you need support as a parent. Because if you don't know, again, I'm going to constantly say, if you don't know, you don't know. And if you're not comfortable asking for help, you still will not know. But your child needs you to know. Your child needs you to fight for them, fight for whatever's needed. Because just because your child has an IEP, it does not garner that you're going to have the needs met that's on the IEP. So if you don't know that, listen, my child is supposed to have this, my child is supposed to have that, and why is my child not receiving those services? You can ask, and then ask your kid, like, if your child's supposed to have speech, did the speech therapist come see you? And find out if they have speech. Like, reach out to the speech therapist. How many times does that IEP say that your child's supposed to meet with the speech therapist a week? And if it says 2 or 3 times, if your child come home in a week and they said that they did not meet with the speech therapist, I need to be there on Monday, finding out why the speech therapist not meeting with my child. I will go to the building first, and then, like, here we have, in every school district has um, a special needs. We have what, learning support services, and then you reach out to whomever's over that. I know when we first came here, they didn't meet my child's IEP needs, so I was just a little rambunctious, and so I rushed out to Lansing, and which is our capital, and I, called to find the. I called every number I could until I got the right person. Like, listen, my child's IEP is not being met. They're not honoring this. They're not honoring that. And so that year, I think Melinda Carroll was her first year. She was transitioning into coming into Flint schools. And so when I fought for my child's right, that was her first year in Southwestern. And when I received the findings because Lansing did an investigation of the school, and when I received the paperwork, the packet was like this. And it said Felicia Dawn Harper, and I was fighting for 147 kids that was in the building. Kids, I still don't know those kids to this day. But because I have filed a petition stating that they were not honoring my child's IEP, they just put the other kids who were not IEPs weren't being met up under me. So for 3 years, I received updates on what was happening, if they were out of compliance. And when they're out of compliance, I'm sorry, my head is down because I'm planting my seeds. Every little container I get, I put some soil in and I plant seeds, because pan over there, up to the garden, to the lot. That lot where all those flowers are in the middle, which my son mowed those down yesterday and they grew back today. We're going to have a garden over there. So I'll be reaching out to the gentleman this week to come and turn the soil over. I need him to turn it over. And then I also need to reach out to have them dump fertilizer and stuff over there, so that the second time he turns it over, he turns the fertilizer and everything in there. Then we'll smooth it out and we'll begin to plant. So this is my little greenhouse. And I have I have egg containers, water bottles I've cut in half. I have a variation of things, just getting my little seeds to going. So when we're ready to put them in the ground, they've already, we'll still be putting seeds in the ground, but the ones in here, they will have blossom, and we can just take those and transpose them over there. So that's what I'm doing. So that's why my head is down as I'm speaking. So so I fought for those kids, and for 3 years I received information until they were up to code with the IEP. And still right now, thank God, we're in the pandemic, but a speech therapist called, and my child's a little cantankerous. She can be a little cantankerous when she wants. So she reached out and was saying, she knows that Deja, she could be a support for Deja if Deja wanted to do her therapy on Zoom. And my child like, nope, I don't want to do therapy. But just the fact that she reached out to her, and not just her, she's reaching out to all the kids that she having her caseload. But the fact my child was like, nope, I don't want to be bothered. See, because all my child knows is that she graduating, so she don't want to be bothered. She don't want to be bothered with nothing else. I find that funny. So, again, I would say to parents, I would say to you, the viewer, if you know someone who is struggling and don't know which way to turn, the school should be the first resource in the community. Your family engagement resource person, if she doesn't know or he doesn't know, um, then there's Google. Google is awesome because in starting the support group here in Michigan, which here in the city of Flint, um, it was just in one school building, and I know that I would like it outside of the school. It's for it to be more like a coffee clutch where parents can come together, do something in the morning and something in the evening so that we can capture all the parents. But I really would like for that to be something that continues, blossom, and grows because there is a need. And if I am able to connect to the family engagement, uh, family facilitators in each building and just have the ability to go in and just chit chat. Like I partnered with Michigan Alliance of Families, and they are an awesome organization here. But I found them on Google. I googled like what services are offered here in Michigan. So being a parent of a special need kid, I knew about like the ARC of North Carolina, the ARC of Jersey. So when I moved here, I rushed out to the ARC, right? I'm like, yeah, the ARC will, because when you move to a different state, you don't know what resources are out there, and you're trying to navigate so that you can find out. So I went to things that were familiar to me, but what was really shocking, and I'm still learning about this here in Michigan. The ARC is brought up. It's chapters, so I can own a chapter, you can own a chapter, and it's for your county. And so for Genesee County, which is one of the poor counties in Michigan, we don't have a chapter. And so when I called when we first moved here, they was like, oh, it's a shame you live in the wrong county. And I'm like, what? I never heard of, picking and choosing what county. I just thought that they would service like I was accustomed to it happening in other states, but I was able to find my way. But again, Google is an awesome tool. Um, Again, use your school. Your school is there for a reason. It's not just there just to hand you that paperwork and send you on your way. Those people are there. They get paid to assist you. And if they don't know, like, listen, can you find out for me? Because I need to learn how to advocate. And then if you don't know, find a friend and have a friend come with you if you don't understand it. If there's some literacy issue, whatever the dynamic is, if you don't think that you're capable, find someone that you trust and have them come with you. So 4 ears are better than 2 that don't understand. And so those are my recommendations. I think those are things that bothered me this morning that I really didn't share, like how I was able. Oh, also when I was in Jersey, I joined a support group. It was called Mom to Mom, and it was for parents who had children who had special needs, whatever the need was. It wasn't just a certain. It wasn't just autism. It wasn't just learning behaviors. It wasn't disability. Um, it was all. It was the whole gamut of disabilities. All the parents in there, and I learned a whole lot being in that mom to mom group. One, I was a little snobby when I first joined. See, I'm going to tell the truth for myself because I was like, oh, my kids aren't that bad, because it was a mixed group. It wasn't just black; it was black, Hispanic, white. Um, we would go once a month, and it was financial demographic. It was just an array. So I would sit there and be like, because my kids were still little, see, they stuff hadn't manifested yet. So I sat there like, ooh, I can't believe those kids act like that. And woo, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that. Oh, but time will humble you, honey. Because a lot of the things that they shared, and I look back and so grateful because sometimes God will send you what you need. You don't know you need it, but I needed that information that was given then in the group, because at that time I didn't need it. But later on, I remembered and was like, oh yeah, I remember they said you should do X, Y, and Z. So I was able to navigate a lot better being in a support group. And people in support group, they ain't there, everybody's there to lift you up. Again, I went in snobby because I had never been part of a support group, but I got it together now. It ain't even about being snobby. Listen, we all are a wealth of information. We come with different stuff. So if we can share, and you need to make it a safe space. So if somebody needs to cry, you understand because you're going through as well. And so that was a great space for me to learn, one, to humble myself, two, get all the information that you can get that's out there, because there's a lot out there, and learn the tools so that if you venture off and you're in a space where you don't know anyone, like me moving in two different states, not knowing anyone, you'll be able to navigate a lot better. And then I'll say it for the third time, your child's school is a resource for you. Just start asking questions. If we don't know, just ask. Staying quiet could be the worst thing you could do for your child. Like, I need help. And there's nothing wrong with saying, listen, I need help, I need direction, I need guidance, I don't know. So can you help me? And if you don't know, can you point me in the direction of somebody who can help me along this journey? And so that's why I made this second video, because I left those parts out in the first one, and I just wanted to thought that I should share that, because it was not easy, but I positioned myself in spaces where I could learn. And then again, if you don't have a computer, if you don't have an internet in your house, you got a phone, and that's the best computer in the world. That phone is a little mini computer. Google what you need. Find resources for what you need. And if you're here in Flint, these are community schools. They are a wealth of information. There's a wealth of knowledge. Your your facilitator, your community school director, all those people can help you. GHP, you have DHS in the building. There are social workers, and there's a plethora of things here right now because we had the water crisis. So thank you for coming to our channel. Please comment, share, thumbs up, subscribe, click the little bell, and then we have videos on Facebook at Xavier's Treats. You can go over there and see us doing cooking demonstrations, just talking, having a good time. Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful day. Peace.